Hello everyone, my name is Elsa Shira Aurin and my student number is 2430104006. In this video, I will critically analyze an argumentative spoken text entitled Why Students Should Have Mental Health Days, presented by Haley Hardcastle on the official TED platform. This take discusses the critical importance of giving students designated excuse school days off to prioritize their mental well-being. I selected this issue because as a university student, balancing high academic pressure with emotional stability is a challenge we face daily, making this topic incredibly relevant to our generation. To understand the context of this recording, the speaker delivered this talk at amidst an escalating youth mental health crisis. She shares her experience as a high school student leader in Oregon who witnessed the devastating impacts of student suicides in her community. The intended audience for this talk includes educators, school board policymakers, parents, and students themselves. The speaker's primary purpose is to destigmatize youth mental health challenges and confines institutional leaders to treat mental illness with the same seriousness as physical illness. Therefore, the general position she takes is heavily in favor of passing legislation that permits students to take excused mental health rest days. Now, looking at the structural argument map displayed on the screen, is the screen. The issue centers around student burnout and school absenteeism. The speaker's main claim is that schools must legally permit and structurally track sick days dedicated exclusively to mental health. The first supporting reason is that the human mind and body are fundamentally interconnected. Physical illness often manifests from mental stress, causing fatigue or headache. To support this, she provides an example from mental stress. Sorry. She provides an example of how society readily provides public training for physically emergencies, like CPR, but completely neglects formal training for mental health crises. The speaker also addressed a common counter-argument from critics, the opposing view that giving mental health days would just give students a free pass to skip school or slack off. In response, the speaker provided a powerful rebuttal by explaining the mechanics of Oregon's uh, Oregon's House Bill 21 and 71 and 91. She argues that because a parent must still call in to excuse the absence, and because high numbers of absence trigger a direct check-in with a school counselor, the system actually acts as an early detection safety net to catch struggling kids before it is too late. She concludes that pacing oneself through structured rest is the only way for you to be healthy and successful long term. From a critical listening perspective, the speaker's argument has significant strengths, but also notable assumptions. First, the core claim is highly clear and supported by credible, factual evidence. For instance, times time 3 minus 3 second 3, The speaker states that suicide is the second leading cause of death for young aged 10 to 24 in Oregon. The statistical data makes the evidence highly relevant and urgent, elevating this topic from a personal opinion to a validated public health emergency. Furthermore, her language and tone are heavily emphatic and persuasive, utilizing an effective emotional appeal when describing community tragedies. However, the argument has a minor weakness regarding an unsupported assumption. In the early part of the video, around timestamp 16 seconds, she described how her own mother allowed her to take 3 mental health days as semester. Later, at timestamp 4 minutes 28 seconds, she mentioned that parents must be the ones to call to school to excuse the absence. Here, the speaker appears to assume that all students come from supportive, emotionally aware households where parents understand mental health. In reality, many students live in toxic households or with parents who perpetuate the stigma against mental illness, which means the policy might not be as universally accessible as she implies. Personally, I agree with the speaker's position. The strongest part of her argument is the integration of institutional tracking. By recording these absences, school can actively monitor students' welfare instead of letting struggling youth through the cracks unnoticed. To support my stance, according to data from the World Health Organization, early mental health interventions in adolescent settings significantly reduce emotional disorders in adulthood. Therefore, my position is that mental health days should not just be a luxury or a special privilege, but a basic, legalized component of the global educational system. Reflecting on this project, the main listening difficulty I experienced was separating the speaker's heavy use of emotional anecdotes from her concrete policy facts. To overcome this difficulty, I utilized structured note-taking during my second and third listenings, specifically mapping out where emotional appeals, ended, and structural evidence begin. This project helped me understand that critical listening requires us to appreciate as a speaker's passion while logically verifying the practicality of their proposed solutions. In conclusion, Hailey Hardcastle's argument is highly convincing because it provides a realistic structural control framework that can literally save lives. Before I end as required by our assignment with lines, I formally state my academic integrity statement.